moment, make or break the man. It's time for a celebration. It's time for a reckoning. It's time for a conversation with friends I've lost along the way. It's time to turn a new leaf over. It's time to make a change. It's time to make time for the ones who cared for me. Oh, it's better to be lonely than to be alone. And sometimes the fight's worth fighting, even if it's not your own. Tell me about your revolution, I'll tell you about my resolution. Together we might get this world to change today. Jumping through the fire, you're bound to get burned. But it's better to have fought that while than to say you never learn. Oh, tomorrow's always coming, and the past is come and gone. The future's out there waiting, so we better keep on keeping on. Oh, it's better to be lonely than to be alone. And sometimes the fight's worth fighting, even if it's not your own. Tell me about your revolution, I'll tell you about my resolution. Together we might get this world to change today. There's nothing we can do. It all comes down to me and you. We'll never let this world go down in flames. Oh, it's better to be lonely than to be alone. And sometimes the fight's worth fighting, even if it's not your own. Tell me about your revolution, I'll tell you about my resolution. Together we might get this world to change today. When the colors of the leaves begin to change, and oh, that's when I have to leave again. And all the miles and dreams they're in between, be the anchor that keeps you a hold of me. Close your eyes, please don't cry. I'll see you in a little while. In another life you'd be my girl. We would slay the kings and rule the world.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Brad Brock.
Oh yeah. Good morning, Jammers, and welcome to Jams and Coffee here in the morning. My name is Brad Brock, and I will be your host after all here on the show this morning. I appreciate you tuning in over on YouTube, Facebook, and perhaps listening in on JNC Radio via the LIVE365 mobile app. It's a beautiful Wednesday. The beautiful Wednesday out here on the Treasure Coast, at least. There's some wild weather going on in the world today, as it has been for quite some time now. Really, my thoughts are out to the Turks and Caicos and Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, who all really have been beat up by Hurricane Fiona, which really gained a lot of strength and really put a huge beating on those islands down there. I'm a little concerned because my friend Sam lives in Puerto Rico, and I reached out to him, and not necessarily expecting a response, considering I imagine their phone service is down, and certainly their internet's probably out in most of the island. I did not hear back from him, so I'm a little concerned, but I'm understandably so. And understandable that he's not. So I'm hoping to hear from him soon. But if you have family and friends down in the islands, my thoughts are out to them and hope that everybody's okay. So it looks like we're probably going to be, we're probably going to miss this one. But there are other storms that are brewing right behind Fiona that could potentially impact Florida. So I hope you guys are prepared. I already saw stories about people going to Costco and back to their old ways, just taking, 10 cases of bottled water and, really going overboard. It's like, you knew the season was coming. Why wouldn't you stock up before? No, that's not how human beings work. We we go and we panic buy all of our supplies at the the time that we need them. So I hope everybody gets what they need. I hope that that you do it calmly and smart. And hopefully these storms develop in a way that they don't impact us here in Florida or anywhere. You wish that they just circled around in the Atlantic and disappeared. But self-preservation. We hope they don't hit Florida. But moving on from that, today's weather here on the Treasure Coast looking partly to mostly sunny, with a 50% chance of mainly afternoon storms rolling through. The highs are going to be in the upper 80s today, and some drier air is moving in from the northeast for Thursday and Friday. Rain chances Thursday, 30%, and only 10% on Friday, so we're going to look pretty dry this weekend, which is a nice change, considering the last couple have been pretty ominous out there, and the highs are going to remain in the mid to upper 80s through the end of the week here, so not too shabby here. We got some national days happening today. You know how I like to kick off our day with our national days. It is World Gratitude Day today. So what does that mean? Well, on September 21st, it brings the entire globe together in a day of thankfulness. The celebration joins individuals, nations, and organizations sharing their gratitude in various ways. You might wonder why we need a World Gratitude Day. Well, isn't that for Thanksgiving? I don't know. Or not every country celebrates Thanksgiving. Have we gotten to an age where people think that Thanksgiving's international? It was an American thing. Continues to be. Besides the U.S. and Canada, there are only a handful of countries that have an official day of thanks. The observant gives every person in every country a chance to think about what they're thankful for. Did you know that having an attitude of gratitude is good for you? Yeah, that's right. Being thankful results in physical, emotional, and many other types of benefits. For example, practicing thankfulness improves sleep, lowers stress levels, and boosts the immune system. Gratitude also reduces symptoms of depression and improves self-esteem. And if all that weren't enough, practicing gratitude enhances social and professional skills. So with all those benefits, how could you not want to be thankful? So be thankful today, World Gratitude Day. Paul from Drums and Rums chime in and he said, storms. Yeah, we all know that Paul is like Batman. We'll just say that. He's like Batman. And storms are like his bat signal. And there's enough. That's enough. Speculate, conspire how you like. Bye, Jordan. Jordan's taking off here. That's all right. We'll get her back for Oktoberfest later. It's also National Chai Day. On October 21st, the aroma filling the room comes from ancient spices, perfectly steeped into a cup of delicious tea. National Chai Day celebrates the strong, satisfying tea that is ordered at cafes across the country. And while the Indian beverage dates back nearly 5,000 years, the chai served in homes and coffee shops today comes in many forms. For traditional chai, steep it with black tea leaves. Add whole milk for the richest flavor. Some even prefer almond or coconut milk. The most common spice in chai is cardamom. I've never heard of that. Though blends will vary from place to place, other spices include cinnamon, nutmeg, pepper, and fennel. Finally, sweeten the tea with pure sugar. I love chai tea. Don't get it twisted, mate. If you haven't had it, chai tea's the bomb. Hey, Derek. Derek says he's thankful for me. I'm thankful for you. My goodness, I don't think I could do much of life without you, my friend. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. But Derek, you got 25 years on most of these people. I'm also grateful for you. He said, or should I say grateful? Derek, you didn't respond to our group text. I'm expecting you to be here for Oktoberfest today. Let me know if you're gonna be here for the podcast tonight. It's gonna be a good one. We'll talk a little bit more about the podcast tonight. For you Yankee Doodles, it's National New York Day. We mentioned many times each month is or each week or something, I don't know, we get a new national day for the states, corresponding states, and today is honoring the Empire State. How about that? New York state of mind, perhaps. Did you know it's also National Pecan Cookie Day? Yeah, that's right. People across the United States celebrate National Pecan Cookie Day today. This delicious cookie can be eaten and enjoyed morning, noon, and night, which is good for me because if most of you know, I love cookies of all varieties. If you're a pecan snacker, another pecan-related celebration is National Pecan Day. April 14th. Pekanin is a Algonquian word. Oh, gosh. Now I'm going to get shit for that. Meaning a nut requiring a stone to crack. Member of the hickory family, the pecan is native to central and southern United States. I do love pecans. How do you guys say pecan? Do you say pecan or pecan? I feel like for me, it really depends on what I'm calling it for. Sometimes, I would probably say a pecan pie, but other people I know say pecan pie. I don't know. Interesting. How do you say pecan? What other days do we got here today? And it is World Alzheimer's Day. We actually talked a little bit about this yesterday. not about the day, but about ways to try to curb Alzheimer's disease by keeping your mind sharp and staying active. And today is World Alzheimer's Day. It occurs during World Alzheimer's Month, which is happening this month, of course. Makes sense. Health organizations across the globe focus their efforts on raising awareness about this disease. First diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease was in 1906. Alzheimer's, of course, is a progressive brain disorder. It slowly destroys memory and thinking skills. And eventually, when someone has Alzheimer's, they lose the ability to carry out simple tasks. It's the most common cause of dementia. At this time, science hasn't found a cure, nor is there a way to prevent the disease. Estimated 44 million people in the world have Alzheimer's disease. Of all the places in the world, Alzheimer's disease is most common in Western Europe. North America is close behind. The United States, 5.5 million people have the disease, and every 66 seconds, someone in the U.S. receives an Alzheimer's diagnosis. Of course, as the population ages, a higher percentage will be affected by Alzheimer's. For example, beyond the age of 65, the prevalence of Alzheimer's doubles every 5 years. It's predicted that by year 2050, 16 million people in the U.S. will have Alzheimer's. It's also the sixth leading cause of death in the country. So it's really essential to be aware of this and know the signs. And treatments are being developed. But I think prevention is probably the best course of action. And, of course, we discussed it a little bit yesterday, saying, keep your mind sharp. Write everything down. I have always said I'm a huge proponent of keeping journals, whether be they handwritten or they're, or you type them out or whatever the case is. It's good to keep a journal and keep your memories in check. I don't have Alzheimer's that I know of, but I'll still thumb through old journals from my youth and see memories that I've forgotten about or tucked way back in the file, and to read them from your own writing as it was happening is really quite impressive, and puts a lot of things in perspective. Shows you how much you've grown. If nothing else, reading old journals really show you how much you've grown as an individual from the thoughts that you were having when you were younger. So keep a journal. Write that down. Good thing to do. What else? Is there anything else today? Nope. I think that may be it for our national days today. Let me double check. This site sometimes puts things in weird order, so it's possible. Nope, that's it. So there are your national days today. I want to talk a little bit about the podcast tonight. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, wherever you're watching the show today. A few of you are popping in over on YouTube and Facebook. Derek says, pecan. I don't know. He says a pecan is what you take into the woods, not what you put into pie. Yep. I will say that I've probably bounced between both, but I think I've settled on pecan for that pronunciation. Yes. So tonight, and I'll review this, of course, back in shameless plugs at the end of the show, but tonight on the Jams and Cocktails podcast, 8 p.m. Eastern, live right where you're watching this right now is where you'll see the podcast tonight live. We're celebrating Oktoberfest. It's our kickoff of Oktoberfest, which I believe started over the weekend, officially. But Sweet Butter Joe will be reprising his role as Schnapps from the German Oktoberfest band Hops und Schnapps. I should have worn my Hops und Schnapps shirt today. That's okay. But yeah, he'll be joining us tonight, so we're going to learn a little bit about the history of Oktoberfest, and we're going to be playing some traditional Oktoberfest games and some shenanigans there. And it's going to be very, very exciting. I'm stoked to try out some new things. I want to show you guys. So I've been racking my brain because we do so many cool challenges on the podcast, but we don't, it's all of our cameras are relatively stationary, so we're not able to get in on things and zoom in and bring you guys into the events as much as I'd like. But that changes tonight because we now have a mobile camera. Yes, that's a telephone, which is fine. But this is a mobile camera now, been retrofitted, and it's wireless. So literally, the crew here, the destruction crew, will be able to, at a moment's notice, pick this up and show it around, and film things up close and personal, and really get you guys immersed in what we're doing and what we're experiencing on the show. So I'm very excited to use that tonight, and very excited to thrust it upon the crew members who have no idea about it. Derek. And it's I think it's going to be a game changer in our production for the podcast, the live podcast. So and it works great. In fact, you might be surprised to know that the camera that you're watching me on right now is actually my cell phone. So if you're texting me, I apologize. I don't see it. But it's actually my cell phone. I'm testing it out now. It's my cell phone through this program that wirelessly transmits the image. Kind of like, the first moon landing. Wirelessly transmitting the image right to your eyeballs. So it's very fun. Anyway, it seems to work great. I don't know. It appears to be working great as it is now. But I don't know. Would you guys like a taste of what you might be in for this evening? I think you are. So I have a throwback clip for you. This, of course, is me and Schnapps, a.k.a. Sweet Butter Joe. And we are going head-to-head in the Das Boot competition. So I'm going to play this for you, and I hope you enjoy it. We are reprising this event tonight. I hope that I handle it a little bit better. Here we go.
Why does the last guy chug out of a shoe? It's no shoe! It's Das Boot!
Oh dear. Oh, this is like college. Oh no. Oh my god. Sweet Jesus.
Like a bottomless pit.
Wow. Wolfgang.
Joe gave it a valiant effort. He really did.
He's going to be smashed after this. Holy shoot!
I bow down in respect to you, sir.
Yeah. That was an effort. That was an effort to put that beer down. I believe those boots are 2.5 beers. 2.5 bottles of beer is what those were holding. It wasn't the good stuff. Maybe it was. I'm not even sure what we drank. I think it was like maybe St. Pauli Girl. We were trying to be somewhat authentic. But, oh, man, guys, that was rough. Joe gave a valiant effort. I told him tonight, I said, you got to bring it. You got to bring it this year. He was not thrilled. But we will be rematching for Das Boot tonight on the Jams and Cocktails live podcast, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here where you're watching this show right now. So you're not going to want to miss that. It's going to be a good time. What else is going on? What's going on out there in the world? I didn't find a whole lot of news, but there were some interesting stories. Let's see. There was some local news. Last week, I was reading a bunch of people post on Facebook and other social media talking about US 1 being just completely closed down in Jensen Beach. Both directions. It was just this massive detour that had to be taken. Everybody was like, it was like post after post. You know, avoid Jensen Beach or avoid US 1 in Jensen Beach completely. And now we know what was going on. So apparently north and southbound lanes of US 1 were shut down for several hours this past Saturday as Martin County Fire Rescue crews investigated a gas leak in Jensen Beach. Oh, my goodness. Terrifying. Crews were called at 12:40 p.m. on Saturday to the leak, which was in the area, of course, of US 1 and Southwest Eugenia Street, according to Fire District Chief Joe Labosco. The location, of course, is north of the Treasure Coast Square Mall in northern Martin County. The sheriff's office reported that a construction worker had hit a gas line. A main gas line was shut down to mitigate the leak. Traffic was rerouted at southeast Westmoreland Boulevard and northwest Goldenrod Road. According to the Martin County Sheriff's Office, just after 4 p.m., deputies unblocked the roads and traffic began flowing normally. The original Pancake House on the west side of US 1 was evacuated after the leak was reported. So that's what was going on out there, people. That's what was going on out there. Scary stuff. So hope nobody was smoking a cigarette out there. We're going to take a quick music break, which means I need a refill on my coffee. We're going to take a quick music break. When we come back, a surprising twist in this story. A certain someone was caught doing a little biting that is ironic to his job position. I'm going to tell you all about it when we come back here on Jams and Coffee in the Morning. Stick around. Don't go away.
Give me situations I won't be happy with. Lately over being unlucky, it's obvious that I need a day off. Too much to pay off. These days I feel like someone cut my legs off. But I'm fine, just stressed out. Lately I feel left out. Living life looking like hell. But I've been better with you around. Hey. You make me feel right when I'm out of patience. Feel like I am on vacation. You sound so nice singing my song, and I'm right where I belong. Right where I Good conversations always on my motivation. I need a list of names to fix my reputation. Amazing how these people use communication. my song, and I'm right where I belong. Right where I
All right, we're back. Jams and coffee here in the morning. Thank you for joining me on YouTube, Facebook, or JNC Radio via the Live365 app. I'm watching the chats and comments, so chime in if you'd like. And, of course, the phone line's always open, 772-888-1596. Give that a call, follow the prompts, and it'll get you on the air with me to talk about anything you'd like, or if you want to chime in on any of the stories that we're talking about. This one blew my mind. So much irony peppered throughout this story. I can't wait. So the fallen from grace meat alternative company Beyond Meat is in the news today. This story had me rolling. So Beyond Meat suspended its chief operating officer after he was arrested over the weekend on suspicion of biting a man's nose during a fight. Sounds like meat eating to me. Following an Arkansas football game, police arrested the vegan food purveyor's COO, Doug Ramsey, on charges of terroristic threatening and third-degree battery on Saturday night. Terroristic threatening. Ooh. He was released on an $11,000 bond the following day, according to court records. The company didn't respond to requests for comment on the arrest. It later released a brief statement announcing that Ramsey has been suspended effective immediately. Naturally. Fayetteville, Arkansas, news station KNWA, citing a police report, said Beyond Meat's Ramsey punched through the back windshield of a Subaru that had hit the tire of his Ford Bronco. The incident took place in a parking garage near Razorback Stadium at the University of Arkansas. He's got to be on PCP. Have you ever been so mad that you could physically punch through the window of a car? That sounds like PCP, baby. The driver of the Subaru told police that Ramsey pulled him in close, started punching his body. Ramsey also bit the driver, ripping the flesh on the tip of his nose, according to the news report. That's crazy. Ramsey joined Beyond Meat in December of last year, pivoting from a 3-career decade at Tyson Foods. Irony number 2. Biting somebody's face, working for a meatless imitation meat company, and then biting somebody's face after working for Tyson Foods. This just keeps getting better. He spent 30 years at Tyson Foods. No wonder he's biting faces. Beyond Meat has been a market leader in the plant-based meat space alongside rival Impossible Foods. It's a Wall Street juggernaut after its IPO in 2019, but since then has struggled to deliver on sales goals. The shares have fallen more than 90% from their 2019 high. On Tuesday, the stock was trading at around $16, a record low since its debut at $25 per share. Its most recent earnings report, the company blamed inflation for disappointing sales and downbeat outlook. Beyond Meat has long said it hopes to scale up enough to bring the price of its plant-based offerings in line with animal-based products. But in an earnings call with analysts CEO Ethan Brown said the company just wasn't there yet. Price of Beyond's beef sells for about $8.35 a pound, compared with USDA ground beef, which sells for about $4.90. Brown said that it's a very difficult proposition when consumers have very high levels of inflation going on and their buying power in grocery is declining. So I'm sure that they're chief operating officer biting somebody's face and punching out their back window of their car over a very minor accident doesn't help. What a whack job. Who are we dealing with out there? My God, you guys be careful. Don't accidentally tap the back of somebody's car. They might bite your fucking face off. Good Lord. I hope they fire him. I want to know. I want to know what the story is. Was he on drugs, or is he having just a bad day? I don't know. That's mental. He needs mental help. But moving on from that, and some music news. Adam Levine from Maroon 5, following some allegations that he cheated on his wife, Bahani Prinsloo. They wanted to name their child after his alleged mistress. Adam Levine is speaking out. He said, "A lot is being said about me right now, and I want to clear the air." He wrote in a statement on his verified Instagram stories on Tuesday, "I used poor judgment in speaking with anyone other than my wife in any kind of flirtatious manner." Levine wrote, "I did not have an affair. Nevertheless, I crossed the line during a regrettable period in my life." Levine broke his silence after Instagram model Sumner Stroh went viral with a TikTok video in which she said she dated Levine for about a year and shared Instagram messages she said were from him and appeared to be linked to his verified account. What a bitch. "At the time, I was young and naive, and quite frankly, I feel exploited," Stroh said. Levine, she said, reached out to her after things had ended with a request. He said, "Okay, serious question. I'm having another baby, and if it's a boy, I really want to name it Sumner," she said, reading the alleged message aloud. "You okay with that? Dead serious." Levine and his model wife of 8 years recently revealed that they are expecting their third child. In certain instances, it became inappropriate. "I've addressed that and taken proactive steps to remedy this with my family," Levine wrote in his statement. "My wife and my family is all I care about in this world. To be this naive and stupid enough to risk the only thing that truly matters to me was the greatest mistake I could ever make," he wrote. "I'll never make it again. I take full responsibility. We will get through it. We will get through it together." On Monday, Stroh posted another video to share some of the things she wished she had shared in the first video, including how remorseful she feels and how she went public because a friend was attempting to sell her account to a tabloid. Well, the plot kind of thickens. She wanted to put it out there before somebody capitalized on it, I suppose. That's noble in some way. Crazy, man. Social media. What a joke. A joke for people. Really airs out a lot of laundry that maybe perhaps shouldn't be. You know, a lot of friends that maybe not friends. But you know what? That doesn't matter to Gene Simmons. Because Gene Simmons says he has no friends. That's right. Kiss bassist Gene Simmons has a family, bandmates, and businesses, but no friends. A Rock and Roll Hall of Famer tells Goldmine magazine that he doesn't need friends. He says, even today, as I sit here, other than Paul Stanley, and we only get together when we do stuff for the band, how do I say this without sounding inhuman? I don't have friends, he said. Yeah, if friends mean, gee, I don't know what I'm going to do this afternoon. Hey, you want to come over and hang out? I'm more interested in what I want to do. And I don't want to pretend that I'm interested in what you want to do, because I'm not. Well, that sounds just like Gene Simmons. Simmons to Stanley have often described their relationship as more akin to a brotherhood than a friendship. They claim to argue often about minutia. They remain in lockstep when it comes to their ultimate goals for their band. Stanley said in a 2019 interview that he and Simmons have only gotten closer and closer over time, which is terrific. Went on to describe the bassist as a terrific partner and a brother. Stanley and Simmons are uncles to each other's children. Whether Simmons and Stanley will build a friendship once their Kiss career is over remains a question for another day. The End of the Road tour has dates announced through December, and Kiss is expected to complete the final leg of that tour in 2023. So, always remember, if you think you're alone in the world, Gene Simmons has no friends. Here's a guy that's really trying not to make friends. I'm in the segue mood here today. First of all, is anybody out there, and I really want to know genuinely, does anybody believe that Steve Perry from Journey is dead? Because he's not. I guess I'll say that straight out of the gate. But so many people that I've talked to have no idea whatever happened to Steve Perry after Journey. And are, rightfully confused as to why Journey persists without him. That's because there's a lot of there's bad blood. Truth be told there. And so apparently Steve Perry's making some news because he's seeking to intervene in his former bandmates' attempt to register 20 trademarks for Journey songs to use on merchandise. Neil Sean and Jonathan Cain attempted to register 20 Journey songs via their Freedom JN LLC company for use on hats, T-shirts, athletic jackets, and other items. Perry, however, argues that the patents violate an agreement that states such decisions be made with prior written unanimous consent of all partners in each instance. A number of the songs included in the trademark registration have Perry listed as the lone songwriter. Others are group compositions. Kane and Sean sold their respective personal copyrights on Journey's catalog to the Hypnosis Song Fund a few years ago. We've talked about them many times on the JNC podcast. Buying up Justin Timberlake just sold his catalog to them. Timbaland had sold his catalog to these people. Perry's lawsuit accuses Kane and Sean of using false or misleading information to secure the trademarks, which were granted between February and May. In a 2019 interview, Kane explained that while Perry has retained an official role in the administration of Journey's legacy, he only communicates with the band through his music publisher. Steve Perry wants what's his. I don't know who's. I mean, if they're trying to trademark, a song that is he's the sole songwriter to, I think he's got some say in that. Steve Perry. If you're looking for something to do tonight other than watching us drink lots of beer, Tom Morello fans who live in Northern California or just happen to be visiting, you're in luck. The Rage Against the Machine guitarist is playing a show at the Capitol in Sacramento on Wednesday, today, to support the United Farm Workers, and it's free. That's right. He posted, Sacramento, I'm performing a free concert in support of the United Farm Workers, 2 p.m. sharp. Oh, so guess what? You might not have to miss our show to see it anyway. 2 p.m. sharp at the Capitol on 11th Street and North Street. And he said, come on out. That was on his Instagram. Morello was supposed to have been traveling back from Europe right now, but unfortunately, Rage Against the Machine was forced to cancel their whole European and UK tour after Zach De La Rocha, their singer, of course, suffered an Achilles tear early into their North American tour. And we talked about that. Yeah, he busted his leg up. So, Tom Morello doing his thing. For free out in California, if out that way. It's awful early for you to be up right now listening to this, but, we'll have to do some sort of simulcasting or whatever the word is for that. A little bit of concerning news here coming out of Australia. More than 200 whales have been found stranded in Australia on the western shore of Tasmania, according to wildlife officials. The animals, which appear to be pilot whales, are currently stranded on a beach and a sandbank. The Tasmania Parks and Wildlife Service said that in a statement issued today. Early reports estimate about half of the animals are actually still alive. It also said the experts were on the scene to assess the current situation and would be planning an appropriate response. It stressed that volunteers were not needed at the moment, but mass whale strandings have baffled marine scientists for decades. The incident isn't the first of its kind to occur in Tasmania, which, of course, is an inland state off the southern coast of mainland Australia. Mass stranding in 2020 saw hundreds of whales stranded in a harbor, making it the largest mass whale stranding in Tasmania's history. Another distressing case this week saw more than a dozen young sperm whales found dead on another Tasmanian beach. What's going on in Tasmania? Animals, mostly males, were first discovered by wildlife authorities on Monday afternoon, and they are believed to be part of the same bachelor pod. Not pad, bachelor pod. I hope they get that sorted out. That's crazy. I mean, I don't know how you're going to move 200 whales. That seems crazy. Child. Got some celebrity birthdays today. Quite a few, to be honest with you. Turning 33 years old today. Jason Derulo. Jason Derulo. Never heard of him. Turning 33. What a baby. He became known, of course, for his double platinum hit, What You Say, which samples the Imogen Heap song Hide and Seek. He's worked as a songwriter for artists like Birdman. Jason's got tons of songs, but he's great, by the way. 33, what a little baby. Not so much a baby, turning 75 years old today. Author Stephen King. His best-selling horror, science fiction, and suspense novels include Carrie, The Shining, Misery, and the Dark Tower series. His numerous literary honors include a Bram Stoker Award, an O. Henry Award, and the National Book Foundation Medal. Legendary. Stephen King turning 75 today. Turning 50 years old today, musician, singer, and songwriter who became known for his combative attitude as the frontman of Oasis, Liam Gallagher, celebrating his 50th trip around the sun. Oasis, of course, a rock band that has won over 60 music awards and is played by every douche with an acoustic guitar at any college party anywhere on the entire planet, in any language. A huge birthday today, 72 years old, comedian and actor Bill Murray. Legendary comedian and actor Bill Murray, turning 72 years old today. Of course, nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor for his starring role in the 2003 film Lost in Translation. Of course, his best-known films include Caddyshack, Ghostbusters, Groundhog Day, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, St. Vincent, and the Royal Tenenbaums. Happy birthday, Bill Murray. Another funny guy turning 63 years old today is Dave Coulier. Of course, he gained fame in the 1980s and 90s as Uncle Joey on the ABC sitcom Full House. It was announced in 2015 that he would reprise his role for the 2016 Netflix follow-up series Fuller House. He's worked as a voice actor for Robot Chicken and Bob and Doug. So, Dave Coulier, also famous for his relationship with Alanis Morissette. Potentially one of her most provocative songs, allegedly written about him. But you didn't hear that from me. Turning 41 years old today, Paris Hilton's bestie, Nicole Richie, turning 41. She was, of course, the co-star on the reality show The Simple Life with Paris Hilton. She then became a mentor on the NBC series Fashion Star. In 2014, VH1 began airing the series Candidly Nicole, which is based around her Twitter feed. There you go. Man, lots of 80s and 90s throwback actors and actresses here. Turning 51 years old today, the actor best known for playing the role of Carlton Banks Of course, Alfonso Ribeiro. He was Carlton Banks on the television series The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air alongside Will Smith. He later went on to host the popular GSN game show Catch 21 and as well as ABC's America's Funniest Home Videos. He also won the 19th season Dancing with the Stars with his partner Whitney Carson. So Carlton's been busy since Fresh Prince. Good for him. He's a funny guy too. I like him. Faith Hill, country singer Faith Hill, is turning 55 years old today. She sold over 40 million albums, and her first 2 albums, Take Me As I Am and It Matters to Me, went multi-platinum in 1993 and 95. Of course, married to country crooner Tim McGraw. Faith Hill, 55. Turning an unbelievable 39 years old today, Joe Mazzello, known, of course, for playing roles in Jurassic Park and The River Wild as a young actor. His portrayals of Dustin Moskovitz in The Social Network and bass player John Deacon in Bohemian Rhapsody earned him further critical acclaim. Bet you didn't know that he was John Deacon and the little boy from Jurassic Park. Learning something new every day, aren't we? Broadway actor and singer Billy Porter turning 53 years old today. Billy received a 2013 Tony Award for his portrayal of Lola in the musical production of Kinky Boots. And in 2018, he began starring in FX's Pose. Billy Porter, quite a character. Excellent on the stage. And rounding out our birthdays today, turning 51 years old, Luke Wilson, of the Wilson brothers there. He's, of course, appeared in such movies as Old School, Legally Blonde, and Death at a Funeral. From 2011 to 2013, he played a role in the television series Enlightened. Luke Wilson, turning 51 years old today. Had some interesting stuff happening. Pardon me. Ooh, getting choked up. Luke Wilson's turning, he's so old now. No. Going back in time a little bit here, on this day, back in 1980, during a North American tour, Bob Marley collapsed while jogging in New York's Central Park. After hospital tests, he was diagnosed as having cancer, and Marley played his last ever concert 2 nights later at the Stanley Theater in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's sad. That was the end of an era there, 1980. Moving forward just about 7 years, 1987, American jazz bassist Jaco Pastorius died from injuries sustained in a fight. Pastorius was trying to enter the Midnight Bottle Club in Wilton Manors, Florida, where he'd been banned, and became involved in a fight with a bouncer. Pastorius fell into a coma and was put on life support. And in 2006, he was voted the greatest bass player who had ever lived by readers in Bass Guitar magazine. He was a member of the Weather Report and worked with various acts, including Joni Mitchell and Herbie Hancock. Yeah. His son, I can't remember his name, lives in the area here, and does his thing as well. But yeah, he apparently had some demons, and it's a shame that they overtook him. That was a huge loss in the music world back in 1987. Yeah, there was some stuff going on back then. You guys want to hear something cool? I'm gonna share it with you. A NASA InSight lander has heard and detected the vibrations of 4 space rocks as they slammed into Mars over the past 2 years. It's the first time a mission has picked up both seismic and acoustic waves from an impact on Mars, and InSight's first detection of impacts since landing on the Red Planet back in 2018. Fortunately, InSight wasn't in the path of these meteoroids. Of course, that's the name for space rocks before they hit the ground. The impacts ranged from 53 to 180 miles away from the stationary lander's position in Mars Elysium Planitia, which is a smooth plain that's just north of its equator. The meteoroid hit the Martian atmosphere on September 5th, 2021, and then exploded to at least 3 shards, each one leaving behind a crater on the red planet's surface. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter then flew over the site to confirm where the meteoroid landed, spotting 3 darkened areas. The orbiter's color imager, a high-resolution imaging science experiment camera, took detailed close-ups of the craters, and researchers shared their findings about new craters in a study that was published on Monday in the journal Nature Geoscience. Study co-author Ingrid DeBauer, assistant professor of Earth Environmental and Planetary Sciences at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island, said, after 3 years of InSight waiting to detect an impact, those craters looked beautiful. Data from InSight also revealed 3 other similar impacts, one on May 27th, 2020, and 2 additional ones in 2021. The agency released a recording of a Martian meteoroid impact just Monday. During the clip, listen for a very science fiction-sounding bloop 3 times as the space rock enters the atmosphere and explodes into pieces as it hits the surface. You guys want to hear it? It is crazy hearing, or it's crazy sounding. It's so bizarre. It really is unusual. Let me pull it up here. I should have put a link, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. Well, let's see here. Where are you? There it is. Yeah, it's crazy sounding, you guys. So here it is. This is InSight's capturing of meteoroids striking Mars' surface. Here we go. Oh no, that's not it. All right, here we go. Wait, let's try it again. I forgot to unmute it. Here it is. This is the sound. Wild, right? Here it is one more time. What a spooky place Mars must be. What a spooky place. I don't know, man. The more shit that comes out of Mars, the more I'm like, maybe I'm good here. Maybe I'm okay to live and die here, never leaving this atmosphere. Scientists have actually questioned why more impacts haven't been detected on Mars, as the planet is located next to our solar system's main asteroid belt. There are many space rocks emerged to hit the Martian surface. The Martian atmosphere only has 1% of the thickness of Earth's atmosphere, meaning that more meteoroids zip through it without disintegrating. Philip says it sounds like flatulence in a hot tub. Right? That I can't even do it. It's great. It really sounded. I was not expecting that sound when I heard it the first time. Really unbelievable. During its time on Mars, InSight has used its seismometer. There it is. Seismometer to detect more than 1,300 Mars quakes. I don't know why that cracks me up. I guess it wouldn't be an earthquake, would it? It would, in fact, be a Mars quake, which takes place when the Martian subsurface cracks due to pressure and heat. The sensitive instrument can detect seismic waves that occur thousands of miles away from InSight's location, but the September 2021 event is the first time scientists use the waves to confirm an impact. It's possible the noise of the Martian wind or seasonal changes that occur in the atmosphere hid the additional impacts. Now the researchers understand what an impact seismic signature looks like. They expect to find more when they comb through InSight's data from over the last 4 years. Seismic waves are helping researchers unlock additional information about the interior of Mars because they change as they move through different material. The meteoroid impacts create quakes with a magnitude of 2.0 and less. So far, InSight's largest detected quake was a magnitude 5 event back in May. Oh, wow. Crazy. That was it's crazy sound. Wild universe out there. We're just cracking into it. But I think we're going to get into our top 10. This is actually going to be a top 12 today. And it's going to be a little bit more unusual than the usual ones, I suppose. But we got 12 scientifically proven signs that you're in love. We're gonna breeze through them here in the JNC top 12 today. All right, here we go. So, you may have experienced some signs that you're in love. Can't get someone out of your head. Daydreaming about them when you should be working. Imagining your futures together. These dizzying thoughts are just a few of the telltale signs that you're in love. In fact, scientists have pinned down exactly what it means to fall in love. Researchers have found that the brain of a person in love looks very different from one experiencing mere lust. And it's also unlike the brain of someone in a long-term committed relationship. Studies led by Helen Fisher, an anthropologist at Rutgers University and one of the leading experts on the biological basis of love, have revealed that the brain's in-love phase is a unique and well-defined period of time. And here are 12 telltale signs that you're in love. Oh, yes. The first one, of course, is thinking this one is special. When you're in love, you begin to think of your beloved as unique. Belief is coupled with an inability to feel romantic passion for anyone else. According to a 2017 article in the journal Archives of Sexual Behavior, this monogamy results from elevated levels of central dopamine, a chemical involved in attention and focus, in your brain. Now you know why. Number 2 here is focusing on the positive. People who are truly in love tend to focus on the positive qualities of their beloved, while overlooking his or her negative traits. According to the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, relationships are usually more successful when partners are idealized. Those who are in love also focus on trivial events and objects that remind them of their loved one, daydreaming about these precious little moments and mementos. According to research published in 2013 in the journal Motivation and Emotion, being in love prevents people from focusing on other information. That makes sense. That checks out. This focused attention is also thought to result from elevated levels of central dopamine, as well as a spike in central norepinephrine. Norepinephrine. That's what it is. And that is a chemical, I suppose, that's associated with increased memory in the presence of new stimuli. Number 3 is emotional instability. This is well known. Falling in love often leads to emotional and physiological instability. You bounce between exhilaration, euphoria, increased energy, sleeplessness, loss of appetite, trembling, a racing heart, and accelerated breathing, as well as anxiety, panic, and feelings of despair when your relationship suffers even the smallest setback. When extreme, these mood swings paralleled the behavior of drug addicts, according to the 2017 article in the journal Philosophy, Psychiatry, and Psychology. And indeed, when in-love people are shown pictures of their loved ones, it fires up the same regions of the brain that activate when a drug addict takes a hit, quote-unquote. According to Fisher, being in love is a form of addiction, and when this is taken away from someone, they can experience withdrawals and relapse. I mean, can I get an amen? For one, have felt that feeling many times in my life. I'm sure that you guys can relate. Now we're getting to some science of it. Number 4 here, intensifying attraction. Going through some sort of adversity with another person tends to intensify romantic attraction, according to Fisher's research. Central dopamine may be responsible for this reaction, too, because research shows that when a reward is delayed, dopamine-producing neurons in the brain region become more productive. Intrusive thinking, number 5 here on this list. People who are in love report that they spend, on average, more than 85% of their waking hours musing over their love object, according to Fisher. Intrusive thinking, as this form of obsessive behavior is called, may result from the decreased levels of central serotonin in the brain, a condition that has been associated with obsessive behavior previously. According to a 2012 study published in the Journal of Psychophysiology, men who are in love have lower serotonin levels than men who are not, while the opposite applies to women. The men and women who are in love found to be thinking about their loved ones for around 65% of the time they were awake. Woo! Number 6 on our list today, emotional dependency. People in love regularly exhibit signs of emotional dependency on their relationship, including possessiveness, jealousy, fear of rejection, and separation anxiety. For instance, Fisher and our colleagues looked at the brains of individuals viewing photos of a rejected loved one or someone they were still in love with after being rejected by that person. Functional magnetic resonance imaging, which is the fMRI, showed activation in several brain areas, including 4 brain areas like the cingulate gyrus that have been shown to play a role in cocaine cravings. Activation of areas involved in cocaine addiction may help explain the obsessive behaviors associated with rejection in love. And that was what researchers wrote in a 2010 in the Journal of Neurophysiology. What I'm getting here is that falling in love is like, basically like doing heroin. Amazing. Number 7, I think. Forgive me if my numbering is off. Number 7 is planning a future. Longing for emotional union with a beloved. Seeking out ways to get closer and daydreaming about future together are also signs of someone in love. According to an article by Harvard University, when serotonin levels begin to return to normal levels, the hormone oxytocin actually increases in the body. This neurotransmitter is associated with creating more serious relationships. Lucy Brown, a neuroscientist at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine in New York, says this drive to be with another person is sort of like our drive toward water and other things that we need to survive. Functional MRI studies show that primitive neural systems underlying drive, reward recognition, and euphoria are active in almost everyone when they look at the face of their beloved and think loving thoughts. This puts romantic love in the company of survival systems, like those that make us hungry or thirsty. Lucy Brown said, I think of romantic love as part of the human reproductive strategy. It helps us form pair bonds, which helps us survive. We were built to experience the magic of love and to be driven toward one another. Interesting. Number 8 on our list, feelings of empathy. People who are in love generally feel a powerful sense of empathy towards their beloved, feeling the other person's pain as their own and being willing to sacrifice anything for the other person. In Fisher's study, the scientists discovered significant patterns in the brain activity of people who were in love. Their mirror neurons, which are linked to feelings of empathy, were more active in people who were in a long-term loving relationship. Number 9. Aligning interests. Falling in love can result in someone reordering their daily priorities to align with those of their beloved. While some people may attempt to be more like a loved one, another of Fisher's studies presented in 2013 at the Being Human conference found that people are attracted to their opposites, at least their brain chemical opposites. For instance, research found that people with so-called testosterone-dominant personalities are highly analytical, competitive, and emotionally contained, are often drawn to mates with personalities linked to high estrogen and oxytocin levels. And these individuals tended to be empathetic, nurturing, trusting, and pro-social, and introspective, seeking meaning and identity. That's what Fisher said back in 2013. Number 10 here, possessive feelings. Not so necessarily the positive parts of being in love, but those who are deeply in love often experience sexual desire for their beloved, but there are strong emotional strings attached. The longing for sex is coupled with a desire for sexual exclusivity and extreme jealousy when the partner is suspected of infidelity. According to the Indian Journal of Endocrinology and Metabolism, oxytocin is released during sexual activity, and this hormone, as mentioned above, creates social bonds and develops trust. We've talked about this before, this particular hormone, on the show. This attachment is thought to have evolved so that an in-love person will compel his or her partner to spurn other suitors, thereby ensuring that the couple's courtship is not interrupted until conception has occurred. We are just beasts. According to Fisher, this evolved as a biological need, enabling people in romantic relationships to focus their mating energy on a particular individual. Number 11 here, craving an emotional union. While the desire for sexual union is important to people in love, the craving for emotional union takes precedence. Fisher's 2002 study published in Archives of Sexual Behavior found that 64% of people in love, and that's the same percentage for both sexes, disagreed with the statement. Sex is the most important part of my relationship with my partner. Number 12 here. Ooh, and there's a bonus. Number 12, feeling out of control. Fisher and her colleagues found that individuals who reported being in love commonly say their passion is involuntary and uncontrollable. For her 1979 book, Love and Limerence, the late psychologist Dorothy Tenov asked 400 men and women in Connecticut to respond to 200 statements on romantic love. Many participants expressed feelings of helplessness, saying their obsession was irrational and involuntary. According to Fisher, one participant, a business executive in his early 50s, wrote about an office crush. I'm advancing towards the thesis of this attraction for Emily is kind of biological, instinct-like action. It is not under voluntary or logical control. It directs me. I try desperately to argue with it, to limit its influence, to channel it, to deny it, to enjoy it, and yes, damn it, to make her respond. Even though I know that Emily and I have absolutely no chance of making a life together, the thought of her is an obsession. That was reported in 2016 online in Nautilus. Yes, Philip. And he immediately retracted the message. Oh, well, you retracted it, so I won't say it. But it was a good one. And number 13, the bonus one here, losing the spark. So unfortunately, being in love doesn't always last forever. And psychologists say that the early euphoric stage lasts no longer than 3 years. According to Fisher's blog, it's an impermanent state that either evolves into a long-term relationship that psychologists call attachment, or it simply dissipates and the relationship dissolves. There are physical or social barriers inhibiting partners from seeing one another regularly. For example, if the relationship is long distance, then the in-love phase generally lasts longer than it would otherwise. So there you go. That's 13 signs that you're in love. And yeah, if you're feeling any of these things right now, good for you. But be careful. Be careful. Don't let it overpower you and make you do stupid things, because Lord knows I've done it. I'm sure most of you have as well. So that's the JNC top 13 today. I hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was a good one. It's not from the usual top 10 place that I look for, but I saw the article and I thought it'd be a fun one to read. So there we go. I got some shameless plugs here for you. Most importantly, check out the Jams and Cocktails live podcast tonight. We're celebrating Oktoberfest, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here where you're seeing this or listening to this show. You'll see the podcast tonight live. We always watch the chats and comments. We have the phone line open, just the same as we do here on this show. So we encourage that. We got some great games and a little bit of history on Oktoberfest, so that when you're out there, wearing your lederhosen and drinking beers bigger than your head, you know why you're doing it. So it's going to be a good time, and we really had a great time last year. So it's going to be even more so. If you want to get a glimpse of what you might be getting into tonight, you can go back and watch that episode from last year, our Oktoberfest episode. It's on our YouTube channel. You can listen to it, of course, anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can scroll down and find that episode. But this one's going to be good. We're, of course, in the new lounge here, and our production's a little better, I suppose. But yeah, so tune into that tonight. Be sure to check out Paul's latest podcast for Drums and Rums. It just dropped yesterday, I believe. And, of course, it's the recap for the Ringo Starr concert that he got to see down there in Hollywood over the weekend. So I look forward to listening to that this morning as I do my work. His live streams on Thursday. So check out the biggest happy hour in a half hour tomorrow at 8 p.m. Always a good time. And, Paul, or if you're still listening out there somewhere in Dreamland, I think first of all, let me recap. Paul figured out a way to play a bingo game on his last live stream, and it was so fun, and it was so competitive in the chats. Like I feel like I somehow got wrapped into into some sort of dance off coming up because of it. But it was so much fun. It's like traditional bingo, So it's all you kind of ask for a card, and the host sends you a link to your own individual bingo card, and we played, and we had so much fun. So I think what I might do here on the mornings, I think maybe we'll do it on Fridays. Maybe we'll do like Bingo Friday, and I'll get together some prizes, and we'll play bingo on Fridays. That's how we'll end out the week. I think that's a lot of fun. And so, Paul, if you're out there listening, I'm going to hit you up sometime today or tomorrow, and we'll talk about the bingo, and we'll try to set that up for Fridays. I think that'd be a good time. So Bingo Friday might be a thing. No promises. We might be putting that together. So check that out. Check out Paul's live stream tomorrow, 8 p.m. You could find it. We'll have it streaming on jncpodcast.com. But you can, of course, link to it through his YouTube page, Drums and Rums. So check it out. Go and subscribe to his stuff if you haven't. I know a lot of you have, so thank you so much for going over and there doing that. He has a great collection of content to check out. So check out Paul's Drums and Rums podcast content. What else? Of course, our friends at Code Rum, Hop Life Brewing, Sneaky Tiki in downtown Stewart, and, of course, Paul at the Drums and Rums podcast, and all of you out there tuning in and tuning into all the knucklehead stuff that we do. We appreciate it. Check out the Live365 Radio App. It's completely free from your favorite app store. Listen to radio from all over the world, independently broadcasting and independently programmed, including JNC Radio, which is our radio station. You can hear these shows in the morning, our podcasts on Wednesdays, and, of course, great music throughout the day and night. So check that out. It's totally free. Highly recommend it. what else? I think that might be it. And of course, the morning show. If you're tuning in for the first time, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we're here every weekday morning, God willing. God willing, here every weekday morning to bring you live shows. We talk shit, we read the news, and we have a good time. So it's a lot of fun. YouTube is the place to catch this show because of all of you in the chat rooms. You make it really, really fun. And but watch it anywhere you can. Really, just subscribe to the channels and follow our stuff. That would be groovy, groovy, groovy. But yeah, that does it for the show. I will see you guys tonight on the Jams and Cocktails podcast, 8 p.m. Eastern sharp. You'll see my posts all day long today. I'm sure you will. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. I'll see you back here. I'll see you on the podcast tonight. I'll see you right back here tomorrow at 8 a.m. God willing. Have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Tune in again tomorrow morning for the latest local buzz, national headlines, music news, and more on JNC in the Morning, right here on Facebook and YouTube.